Why $10,000 changes everything financially. Imagine two people earning the exact same income. They shop at the same stores, drive similar cars, and live in the same city. From the outside, their financial lives appear almost identical. Yet one unexpected expense changes everything. A medical bill arrives, a vehicle breaks down, or a job suddenly disappears. One person feels stressed immediately because every dollar already has a job. The other person experiences concern, but not panic, because there is a financial buffer between the problem and their daily life. The difference is not income. The difference is the existence of a threshold, and one of the most important financial thresholds many people encounter is $10,000. Most people think financial progress happens in a straight line, but money often works in stages. Certain numbers create changes that are larger than the numbers themselves. $10,000 is one of those numbers because it represents more than purchasing power. It represents options, flexibility, and time. While $10,000 will not make someone wealthy, it can fundamentally change how financial decisions are made and how financial stress is experienced. The reason this threshold matters begins with psychology. Human beings naturally respond differently when resources feel scarce. Researchers studying scarcity have repeatedly found that when people feel financially constrained, a large portion of mental energy becomes focused on immediate problems. Bills due next week become more important than opportunities 6 months away. The mind narrows its focus toward survival. This is not because people are irresponsible or unintelligent. It is because uncertainty consumes attention. When someone has little or no savings, every decision carries additional weight. A car repair is no longer a repair. It becomes a potential crisis. A delayed paycheck is no longer an inconvenience. It becomes a threat to rent, groceries, or transportation. Financial scarcity creates a constant background noise that influences decision-making in ways many people do not even notice. Now imagine the same person with $10,000 available. The amount itself may not solve every problem, but it changes the emotional relationship with uncertainty. Instead of reacting to every disruption, there is room to respond. The brain shifts from emergency mode toward planning mode. Decisions become less about surviving the next few days and more about improving the next few years. This shift becomes even clearer when we look at the mathematics behind financial stability. Consider a household spending $3,000 per month. $10,000 represents more than 3 months of expenses. That means a temporary income interruption does not immediately become a catastrophe. There is time to search for work, negotiate better opportunities, or solve unexpected problems without instantly turning to debt. The important point is not the exact number of months. The important point is that financial buffers create time. Time is one of the most valuable resources in personal finance because it improves decision quality. People forced into urgent decisions often accept unfavorable terms. People with time can compare options, negotiate better outcomes, and avoid expensive mistakes. This is where many financial problems begin. Without savings, debt often becomes a substitute for time. A credit card pays for the emergency today, but it transfers the problem into the future with interest attached. The original expense remains, and now an additional cost has been added. The cycle repeats, creating a situation where future income becomes committed to solving yesterday's emergencies. $10,000 interrupts this cycle. Instead of borrowing for every surprise, savings absorb some of the impact. Interest payments that would have gone to lenders remain available for future goals. The money begins protecting itself rather than creating additional obligations. There is also a less obvious effect. Reaching $10,000 often changes identity. Before reaching the threshold, many people see themselves as trying to save. After reaching it, they begin seeing themselves as someone who has savings. That distinction may sound small, but behavioral economics suggests identity strongly influences future actions. People tend to protect identities they have already adopted. A person who identifies as a runner is more likely to keep running. A person who identifies as an investor is more likely to continue investing. Similarly, a person who identifies as a saver
often becomes more motivated to maintain and grow financial reserves. This creates a reinforcing cycle. Savings reduce stress. Reduced stress improves decisions. Better decisions increase savings. Increased savings create even more flexibility. The process is gradual, but the direction changes.
Historically, societies have recognized the value of reserves long before modern banking existed. Farmers stored grain during productive years because future harvests were uncertain. Merchants maintained inventories because supply disruptions were common. Governments accumulated reserves because unexpected events were inevitable. The underlying principle remains unchanged today. Stability comes not from predicting every problem, but from maintaining enough resources to handle uncertainty. Modern financial systems sometimes encourage the opposite mindset. Advertising focuses heavily on consumption. Social pressure rewards visible spending more than invisible reserves. Expensive purchases receive attention. Emergency funds do not. As a result, many people underestimate the importance of financial buffers because the benefits are largely invisible until they are needed. The irony is that the most valuable financial tools often look unimpressive. A savings account containing $10,000 does not attract attention on social media. It does not create the appearance of wealth, yet it may provide more practical financial security than many highly visible purchases combined. This is why $10,000 represents more than a number. It represents a shift from fragility toward resilience. It creates a space between unexpected events and financial disaster. It allows decisions to be guided less by urgency and more by strategy. It transforms money from something that constantly demands attention into something that quietly provides stability. The threshold will be different for every household because expenses, responsibilities, and circumstances vary. However, the principle remains remarkably consistent. At some point, savings stop feeling like a collection of dollars and start functioning as a system of protection. For many people, $10,000 is where that transformation becomes noticeable. The real lesson is not that $10,000 magically changes a person's life overnight. The lesson is that financial progress often happens through thresholds rather than headlines. Small improvements accumulate until they create a meaningful shift in flexibility, confidence, and decision-making. The number itself matters less than the transition it represents. When people talk about wealth, they often focus on large fortunes, luxury lifestyles, or extraordinary investment returns. Yet one of the most important financial milestones is far simpler. It is the moment when money stops being only a source of pressure and begins becoming a source of options. For countless households, that moment begins around $10,000. And that is why this seemingly ordinary number changes everything financially.
Thank you for watching The Wealth Shift. Remember, building wealth is rarely about dramatic changes. More often, it is about understanding the systems, habits, and decisions that shape your financial future over time. Shift your money, shift your future. If you found this video valuable, subscribe to The Wealth Shift, like this video, and share it with someone who might benefit from it. Also, let me know in the comments what financial topic you would like to see next.